Hey guys, it's Adrian here, the Canadian in a t-shirt, and today I just passed 10,000 subscribers. Guys, this is honestly amazing, and it's really hard to believe. I started this channel 6 months ago just as a hobby, and I did not think that anyone would actually want to listen or care what I had to say. And like I said since day one, I am not a professional. I am not a certified accountant or a financial planner or a licensed attorney. I'm just a regular Canadian guy who is passionate about taking charge of my financial future and trying to be as efficient as possible in all aspects of my financial life. For the past few years, I've always loved giving advice or talking about finances with my friends or family, especially since a lot of people my age do not talk about finances or they feel like it's a taboo subject. And then one day I just decided, hey, what if I put some of these thoughts into a YouTube channel and then other people could find it? I really didn't expect this channel to take off the way it has. I was just filming these videos using my cell phone and using a really cheap microphone I bought on sale at Best Buy. And I remember the feeling I got when I got my very first comment and my very first question. I was so excited to engage with you guys and generate a discussion. And guys, I've been so lucky. I have some of the best fans out there. Almost every single one of you guys who have taken the time to write a comment on one of my videos has been incredibly thoughtful and appreciative and really just makes this so worthwhile and rewarding for me. And then for the hundreds or thousands of you guys who've asked me questions on my videos, it's been so much fun answering those questions. And then when I see a reply and I feel like I've actually helped you learn a new concept or unravel this mystery that you've been dealing with, it is so incredibly rewarding for me. And now it's gone to the point where I'll see that someone asks a question and 20 minutes later, other people jump in and answer the question for them. And most of the time, you guys are answering each other's questions the exact same way I would. It makes me feel like a proud teacher, and I'm really proud of all you guys. For me, the biggest surprise of starting this YouTube channel is the engagement and the relationships I've built with some of you guys. There are at least 100 of you guys out there who comment and ask questions on every single video, and that doesn't go unnoticed. I recognize you guys by name, and even though we've never met, I feel like I actually kind of know you. I know what kind of financial goals you have, what kind of investments you're looking into, and it's been a truly humbling experience, the fact that you guys trust me so much to answer these important questions for you. And for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, and please feel free to ask me any question you have. I really do try my best to read and respond to every single question I get. I used to be much better at that when I only had, 100 or 200 subscribers, but I promise I still put at least 1 or 2 hours a day answering questions. Unfortunately, I've gone to the point where I just can't answer every single question I get, but I do try my best. And guys, if you see that there's a question that's gone unanswered for a day or two, please jump in and do your best to answer the question on my behalf. I'd appreciate that. Anyway, today I'm not going to be teaching you guys anything, although I will be releasing my video on Norbert's Gambit by the end of this week. So check that video out to learn the most cost-effective way to exchange funds between Canadian and US dollars and how to invest in US stocks. But today, to celebrate, I want to do something a little different and a little bit fun. I'm going to give you a tour of my awesome bookshelf that I have back there. Okay, so this is my bookshelf in all of its glory. I say bookshelf, but really half of this is really video games, but there are some actual books in the bottom to hold the weight down. A nice collection of some of my favorite board games. Some highlights include Seven Wonders, Splendor, Carcassonne, Codenames, and Coup. That's an awesome game. My all-time favorite board game, which is Game of Thrones Risk. This is a very intense game. Expect to devote at least 4 to 5 hours to play it, but it is so worth it. Also, probably my second favorite game of all time, Settlers of Catan. I also have a lot of the expansion packs, but even the original Catan is so much fun. I've played it hundreds of times and I've never gotten bored. I've got an assorted collection of some original Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, PS3 games, and PS4 games. I haven't played very many of these. Personally, I grew up playing the Xbox. I've always been an Xbox fanboy. There's very few PS3 and PS4 games I've actually played here. My brother's more of a PlayStation fan, but I have some all-time classics that I've played, like the God of War games, the Uncharted games, the Dead Space series. So this shelf is mostly my brother's territory. I grew up playing the original Xbox and the Xbox 360. So this shelf is where some of my favorite games reside. And I've played every single game here. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, one of the best games of all time. The original Battlefront games from 15 years ago, which even to this day are immensely superior to the new ones. The Lego Star Wars games, so much fun. I have pretty much every Rock Band game. The original Prince of Persia Sands of Time trilogy, one of my all-time favorite video game franchises. My all-time favorite video game franchise is the Halo series. I have every single Halo game. Halo 5 is not on the shelf because I don't think it deserves it. Hopefully Halo 6 will change my mind. Halo 2 in particular is my all-time favorite game. Kingdom Under Fire series, horribly underrated, but so much fun and such a unique experience. I absolutely adored Fable 1. It's probably one of the games I've replayed the most in my life. I have pretty much every Mortal Kombat game. I've loved that series ever since I was a kid in the early 90s, and I was definitely way too young to be playing those games. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, I love the Oddworld Inhabitants games. Once again, criminally underrated, but some of the most unique and original games of all time. Now this shelf are where my most valuable gems are held. These are also my favorite and most cherished video games from the 90s and early 2000s. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the very first video game console I ever played. I love this game to death. I was talking about Oddworld Inhabitants earlier. This is the game that started it all, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Such an absolute joy. I remember when I first played this at my best friend's house, it was unlike anything I'd ever played before. Really, such an underrated game, so original. Even to this day, there's nothing else quite like it. As you can probably guess by the t-shirt I'm wearing, I am a huge Pokemon fan, just like any 90s kid. I remember the first time I played Pokemon Red on my friend's original Game Boy, that first decision you have to make on whether you choose Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, really, that is a moment that any 90s kid will remember. There were even more great Pokemon games like Pokemon Silver, amazing game, Pokemon Yellow, which was so much fun, especially if you're a fan of the Pokemon anime. And now for the N64 games. The N64 game I played the most by far is Pokemon Stadium. The battles, the mini games, endless fun. And then Pokemon Snap, which is such an original game. And now for me, these are my most cherished games I have. As you can tell, this is back in the day when you would buy a PC game. You wouldn't buy it online on Steam. You would buy it in a giant cardboard box like this. Twice the size of the later boxes. Heavy Gear is an awesome mech-based game from the mid-90s with a really fun campaign and really hilarious live-action cutscenes. That's really a trademark of the 90s, and I really miss that style. These are probably my most cherished games I have. The original Age of Empires Rise of Rome expansion, and Age of Empires 2, Age of Kings, and Age of Conquerors. These are some of the oldest games I have, and these are the games I've played the most. I've always been obsessed with history, especially antiquity, so games like Age of Empires, Caesar 2, Zeus, Emperor, Pharaoh, Caesar 3. These games are so much fun. Even at a young age, these games taught me so much about managing time, managing resources, and optimizing your growth. Now let's leave the 90s behind and move towards the 2000s of PC gaming. Some of my favorite games I have here, Diablo 2 and Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. Diablo 2 might be the game I've put the most amount of hours in my whole life. Another one I have to talk about, Age of Mythology is one of my all-time favorite games. You guys can see there Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my personal favorite superhero. I have a lot of the Spider-Man games. This is the oldest one I have. Now let's get to the literary section of my bookshelf. These are a large collection of textbooks that I've accumulated through my university career. Even though I graduated years ago, I still go back and read through some of these books. Most of these books are mathematics and physics, which is what I studied. I studied mathematical physics, but I also have books from all domains of science, including chemistry, organic chemistry. I also have cellular biology, genetics, evolutionary biology, human physiology. Here are some of my fun books. These are some of my all-time favorite books that I read every few years. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Back when Season 1 came out, I read through all 5 of the books as fast as I could before Season 2. I am a huge fan of historical fiction. Stephen Pressfield is one of my favorite authors, and Gates of Fire and Virtues of War are 2 of my all-time favorite books. And finally, I want to show some of the financial books I have. These are some of the books that I read years ago that really got me excited and passionate about taking charge of my financial future. And they include books on real estate, Canadian taxes, Canadian investments, and money management in general. I'll actually be making a video soon where I talk about some of my favorite personal finance books that helped me get started on my financial journey. Some of them you can see here, but I have some others as well. I actually include an Amazon link to each of these books in the description box of every video I make. For me, even though I've read these books years ago, I still go back every once in a while and reread a few chapters. So for me, I think it's worth buying. But if you're just getting started and you want to save a bit of money, I recommend signing out these books from a library for free. And there you go. That's a little peek into my filming set and some of my hobbies. I hope you enjoyed. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little tour of some of my other hobbies. I just wanted to make this quick video to thank you guys once again for getting me to that 10,000 subscriber milestone. These past 6 months have been a total blast, and I wouldn't be here still talking to a camera if it wasn't for the encouragement and support and awesome engagement from you guys. You guys are the best, and I really hope that you guys have enjoyed and found my videos helpful. And remember to check out my upcoming video on Norbert's Gambit that I'll be releasing later this week. Thanks everyone, and I'll see all 10,000 of you guys on the next episode of The Canadian in a T-shirt. Bye guys.